Arsenal Studio B in Chandler, Arizona, this is MayaCast. Welcome to another edition of MayaCast. I'm your host, Tom Shadle.
And I'm your host, Kip Parcell.
And this is episode 245 for Friday, September 13th, 2019. Highly classified, unmasking, and Texas Hold'em walk into a bar. Coming up on today's show, Kip and I played a game on Sunday?
It was Saturday.
Played a game on Saturday here at the house, and we played the brand new mission, Countermeasures. So we're going to be talking about Countermeasures, the mission, as we talk about the game we played against each other, sort of battle reporty, as we unlock the mission as well. So that's what we're talking about today. Welcome. Nice to have you. Thanks for listening. The first thing we're going to do, though, is we had a month end, which means that we need to give out prizes to our patrons.
Some things.
Over at patreon.com/MayaCast. And you can check that out if you'd like to support the show. And we have 3 levels of support: light infantry, medium infantry, and heavy infantry, depending on your donation per episode. And 4 or 5 episodes per month, sometimes 3. Get off of the cheap month. Mm-hmm. And you can pledge a dollar amount per episode. And the light infantry winners added on an episode can win usually a blister pack. And that is the case this time. It's a blister pack. And our light infantry winner
for this round is going to be a Mr. Joshua Hatch.
I love his chili.
Right?
Hatch chili. Yeah, Joshua. So congratulations. Thank you for your support. And please send an email to tom@MayaCast.com
and Kip@MayaCast.com
to let us know what Infinity Blister Pack you would like us to send you. Then we have the medium infantry, where it's $3 or more per episode. And every month we draw a random winner for an Infinity box set, a normal size box set, not one of the big 300-point ones or anything, but, you know, the normal, your regular run-of-the-mill box set. And our medium infantry winner for the month of August is...
This is a Mr. Fly Eagles Fly, Brandon Hall.
Congratulations, Brandon. Again, email tom@MayaCast.com.
And Kip@MayaCast.com.
Or Facebook message us in the fantasy football chat. So random.org picks the winners.
Yes.
We don't. But congratulations, Brandon. Pick out a box set, and we will send it your way. And then the heavy infantry is $10 or more per episode. And that prize currently is an original piece of artwork, a sketch by the very talented Florian Stitz, who does artwork professionally in the gaming industry. And you've seen his work before. And he's a fan of the show, and we are lucky to have partnered with him to do that. So you could, send him a picture of your face and say, "I want to be a Nafatoon. Here's my face."
Right.
Put it right. So any kind of Infinity sketch that you want, like a single character study, whatever. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So you get a sketch from Florian. That's really cool. And the winner only goes by one name on Patreon. And that name is
Yuri.
So congratulations, Yuri, on your original piece of artwork. That's going to be awesome. Can't wait to see what you pick. Can't wait to see what he draws. If you are a winner, email tom@MayaCast.com
and Kip@MayaCast.com
to tell us what prizes you would like to claim. And if you are interested in supporting the show and helping us out, you can see what's up at patreon.com/MayaCast. Kip, remind everybody about MayaCast Masterclass Q3.
Yeah, because that is coming to an end real soon. Got about 3 weeks, maybe 4, if Tom gets really, really busy planning for Arizona Armageddon. But this...
Or really, really lazy.
Yeah, this quarter's challenge is... freehand. So we've had some come through that are pretty clever. I saw a picture of a guy carrying a box and just waving. So that was fun. But yeah, it's anything that you add to the model that's not already
had one free
sculpted.
hand.
Yeah, you did. That's not already sculpted. So typically you'll see like tattoos or faction markers, or even if you just add lines that weren't there, that's technically freehand. So anything that you add on to the model.
One of the bromads also took a picture of his empty hand and sent that in. And the second picture was the okay, like the circle with your
Made you look.
circle game
Yeah.
with your thumb and forefinger.
Oh, that's funny. But yeah, this is going to be any model you want. No silhouette restrictions. So that means you will get, we need a before picture. So it has to be new. Please do not share it on any social media. And then once it is finished, you can add up to 4 finalized pictures. But please, and most people are doing this, so thank you for listening. Rename them with your name. Tom Shadle 1. Chip Rothwell 2. Kalani 3. She's really cute today, by the way. But yeah, send those in one email once you're finished to
Tom at MayaCast.com.
and Kip at MyCast.com. And I'm really excited to see what you guys come up with because some cool stuff's come through so far.
Yeah, you got to the end of the month. And it's
Yeah.
September 13th. It's a Friday the 13th.
Oh, yeah.
So everybody stay safe out there.
I'm
Be
gonna
careful.
When you guys listen to this, I will be flying home from California. And Kenzie was like, why are you flying on Friday the 13th? Because I was like, I don't want to come home on Saturday. I want to be home in the afternoon.
I'll be on a boat in the ocean.
And yes, you will be on a, but we are.
Tempting fate.
Yes.
Watch
Yeah.
out for the flying black cats.
Yeah.
Don't fly under any ladders.
Where are you going, by the way?
We're staying on the boat, so it doesn't matter. But
Oh, okay.
the boat's going to Ensenada, Mexico.
There you go. Kenzie was asking.
But we're just staying on the boat and using the drink package to maximum effect.
Tom has way more fun trip than I do. We both leave Thursday, but mine's for work.
Yeah, freehand. Do it at the end of the month. You got about 2 weeks, probably 3. So get it, and we give prizes out for that. The more entries we get, the more prizes we give away. We give away box sets and blister packs and all that cool stuff. So and then the winner gets the engraved master glass itself. So that's pretty cool. Let's see your entries. Get them in. And now let's talk about countermeasures.
Yeah, we just got our asses kicked.
Requesting evac. Repeat, requesting evac.
Control systems report considerable damage and casualties.
You rolled a crit?
Mission debrief.
So on that other podcast where the toilets flush backwards, our friends over at White Noise, they did a creating mission contest, and I guess Heloise picked the winner. Heloise, for if you don't know, is the guy who does the ITS for Corvus Belli. He's right. He puts together the packet, does the missions. He's in charge of all that. So he chose the winner, and the winner was the name, Kip?
Mickey Ward.
Designed this mission Countermeasures, and not only did he win, Heloise included it in Season 11's ITS packet. And I'm unclear of the details. That may have been the whole idea from the beginning, like that was the prize. I don't know, but that is so it's in there now, and it is my new very favorite mission.
Likewise. So I want to do a personal thank you to Mickey for coming up with this, and then our boys from White Noise for having that contest, because this is the funnest mission.
Right, and we talked about the bare bones of the mission on the previous episode. So, so we had a new table to try out, and there was a new mission to try out. So we had a little fun Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
And so Kip came over, and he busted out his Mandalorian Deshot, and I busted out my very heavily proxied Rama task force.
There were some Mandos in there, though.
Yeah, I got 7 or 8 of them built. Nothing's painted. I've got stuff for other people to paint before I can paint my own stuff. Yeah, so it was Mando on Mando action on a Star Wars themed table. We had the excellent Sanctuary terrain by Battle Kiwi. And so it's like the Endor bunker and a bunch of walls and the
Gun turrets.
gun turbo laser batteries.
Oh, there you go.
And a giant radar dish thing, right? And then from Legion terrain, there was Imperial. No, not Imperial terrain. They make awesome Star Wars buildings. But Legion terrain is where I got the fallen AT-AT in pieces and the crashed X-Wings and the crashed TIE fighters. And so mix all that together and it makes Star Wars. And
yeah, right. In the Infinity Universe.
So cool table and cool models and cool mission. Kip, tell us all about what you brought for Dashot Company for this mission.
Well, I've been kind of playing around with them, especially building these. So I've been playing somewhat of an all-comers list, which, as I read Countermeasures, I'd be like, this is really good because you kind of need a little bit of everything because when you read over it, you're like, I don't even, like, it's going to be so random. You don't know what's going to be coming up. So as with any Dashot list, I had to start with my main Killy force. And that is going to consist of as I see, the ever-present Zuyang HMG with TAC awareness, because you can make a pretty cool fire team out of the Zuyangs
Tactical.
with all of the wild cards that are available. So to add on to that awesome HMG, we get a little bit of short-range firepower with the Ruishi with Spitfire, and then you get your MSV2 with that model. It's a base ballistic skill 12. Burst 5 is always nice. So pretty much you can handle anybody with a burst 5 plus 3 from like 8 to 32 when you mix them all together, which is really nice. I have Miranda Ashcroft in there because of the ODD and boarding shotgun. So basically she's in there for if I need a shotgun or it delivers her. She gets across the table a little bit easier. She's a specialist, hard to hit unless you have MSV. And then if there's a big tag or a scary monster, her monofilament close combat weapon can help out if I have lost my guns. And then here's where I have the options to fill out the other two of that. I take this 2 authorized bounty hunters. I really like the 12-point submachine gun Acrolite cannon because they do have booty level 2. So you might magically get an HMG or a sniper with them. And it's funny because sometimes I don't mind keeping them out, like if I'm going to go second. Because they have Acrolite cannons, and those have pretty good ranges. And glue guns are nasty. And more often than not, when I have shot them, it ends up working out for me. Not always, but more often than not. And then, like I said, you have the booty. So those are good. So I have 2 of those. I can make the fire team with all 5 and then keep the 6 model, Valeria Grimaz, out so she can actually put on Marksman on the Ruishi, which makes it ignore cover mods for the 2-hit and gives it the Marksman, the shock value to the Spitfire. So really devastating because in the 5-member fire team within good range, even if you're in cover, shooting you through smoke, you hit on 18s. It's pretty nasty. Doesn't always work when you roll like 3 19 aboves and then a 1 and a 2. So that happens.
Dice game.
Yeah. But if in the event I don't have to worry about Valeria needing to do that while hanging any of those models out to where people can see, and I do need her to get up closer, I can actually switch her with one of the bounty hunters and then kind of deploy one of the bounty hunters maybe in the path that I want to go. So if one of them goes down, I can reform up a 5-member fire team. It's a really good tactic to have a backup that's worth something. Like in this, I get a hacker and then a cheap order generating troop that can both re-up the fire team. Speaking of smoke, and this is the first group, by the way. Speaking of smoke, we have the McMurrow, McMurder, landing that smoke on 19s. If you're within 8, total immunity, super jump. We all know it's McMurder. I tend to use him quite conservatively most games. This game will be a little bit different, and then you'll see why I use him as a support piece more often than just letting him run on a murder rampage.
Yeah, really reliable smoke.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which helps out the other units that are going to go do the mission until he finally, with the Impetuous, he's finally eventually going to get there.
Exactly.
And then he can do his thing. You don't need to do a first turn murder rush with him. Yeah.
So I tend to not really do that a lot. I have a Gulam Doctor Plus in there because, hey, bringing people back on 17s is really, really nice. And it's a doctor specialist.
Hey, I've got one of those in my list.
Yes. Yeah. And the other cool thing with the Miranda, the Valeria, the McMurrows is they count as veteran troops still. I'm glad that they kept that, which is important in a mission like this because there are those skills. It's like, do you have a veteran or elite or a troop with chain of command? So a lot of options there. I have a Hunzakut with a Forward Observer ability. So that is your rifle light shotgun, camo infiltrator, therefore forward observy things. And then the last model in group 1 is a Gulam with rifle and light shotgun that's usually in a very far place prone.
Wonder what that might be.
Who uses his lieutenant order on the first turn to go in suppression fire. Almost always when I remember to do that.
If Dashot has a downside, it would be that the lieutenant is usually very, very obvious.
Yeah. So, really, really good rounded first group. All can support each other, have a lot of specialists that can take care of whatever cards are flopped on the flop. Hence the name of the title of the show. Then we move on to my secondary group, which is a support group. It's there to move models into group 1 if need be. But through turn 1 and hopefully turn 2, it's a support group. And it starts with the Alpha Seed with the Mine Layer, Veteran level 1. He's also a veteran troop, so he can do those things. HMG and light grenade launcher. But the thing I like about his grenade launcher is it's both normal and smoke.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm not relying on the impetuous McMurrow that might catch a total reaction bot on his impetuous order and go down, which may or may not have happened in multiple games. So I have the Facade with another not as reliable but longer range smoke that's going to help out Group 1. And he's got an HMG, plus skill 13, armor 5, BTS 6. It's not bad. A lot of people hate on him because of that 4-2 movement. If you deploy poorly, that 4-2 movement really does frustrate you. So try not to deploy poorly. I did not do that in this game. But yeah, that's the only downside I've seen to the Facade. I'm actually a really big fan of it. It's helped me more than hurt.
I'm going to take issue with one thing that you said. You said that it's longer range than McMurrow, but when you consider the entire platform, is it? Because the Alpha C can move 4 and then shoot a grenade 16, in the good range. So it's, 20-inch smoke range there, right? Mm-hmm. And he has to spend an order to do it. Whereas the Fluffy has an impetuous order, so you're not pulling out of your pool to do it. Mm-hmm. He can move 6-4 on the impetuous order. Mm-hmm. So if he moves 6 and throws at 8, you're at 14, right? Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's not as far, but he's faster and he's got the free order. Mm-hmm. So technically more long range, but not as efficient. And then if the impetuous order is move, there's 10 inches, then you use his irregular order to move 6. Now you're at 16 and he's throwing at 8 is 24. It's actually longer than the other guy. when they've each spent one order out of the pool.
Well, one order. In
Out of the
what
pool,
I meant with the longer ranges, you're not capped at the 16 inches. It's if in a pinch you have up to 48 inches that you can fire a smoke grenade if you needed to. But yeah, it's mainly that. I prefer to do the smoke trick with McMurrow. But if you don't have the orders in Group 1, you have this support order of Group 2 that you could shoot one and help you out. McMurrow is definitely the first choice for smoke because I'd rather shoot things with the Alpha Seed. I have a little camo token, and then I like the Mind Layer ability because it's really nice to, again, support your fire team, cut off an angle that somebody might want to run a warband troop at them. It's really helpful. And then I also have in there the Liberto, and this is for deployment level 2. So it's almost infiltration, and, you know, they're dogged. I have to remember that they're dogged because I always forget that. Hyperdynamics level 2, which is not bad because they dodge on 16s. And I take the submachine gun chain colt DEP because as a camo token, it's really good to cover your corners, cover your edges for any infiltrators, or if a big bad dude comes around the corner and is like, I don't care about that camo token because it's usually something with a rifle and shoots at my fire team, you pop that Liberto up and go, DEP, ah! And then, yeah, the submachine gun chain colt is there for a submachine gun. You can go into suppression, kind of hold down the center. Chain colt if you just want to go on a suicide run and template somebody. But yeah, I really like that profile, man. 8 points for I know the DEP is only one shot, but it's worth it. It's worth an explosive shot that's unexpected.
Libertos are great.
Yeah, and just to have that suppression fire. And here's why that's support for helpful AROs. And then I have the Dozer, which is your engineer. So again, in this mission, you have things like test run. You have not retro is it retro engineering? So no, because they took that out, right? But test run is still there. I can't remember what the other engineer one was in the new one off the top of my head.
HVT wrench.
There you go. Yeah. But yeah, the Dozer is in there to be not only an order plus having a engineer. But I'm going to need that engineer with his Nazmat because the Ruishi is a huge part of my attack. And it doesn't always go that way. So having an engineer with the Nazmat instead of, because I only had room for one Nazmat, I'd rather have it on the engineer than the doctor because the Ruishi usually goes down before everybody else. And popping that thing back up is far more devastating. And then because it's a tractor mule control device, you take 2 5-point tractor mule minesweepers that can maybe dodge, engage, and electric pulse something, but they're really only there to get 2 orders for 10 points.
It is HVT retro engine.
Retro, that's what I thought.
There's also nano espionage and, of course, sabotage.
There you go. A sabotage, that's the other one, anything with decharges. And then I round that out with a Camille minesweeper as well. So mainly that order pool is for the Dozer and the Facade. So it's a 5 regular, 1 irregular. The Liberto can go into suppression fire with his own irregular order, and then those 5 orders are for the Dozer or the Facade, whichever one I need at the moment to support Group 1. Because Group 1 is mainly getting stuff done, and then I have that heavy infantry to kind of mop up like side, any other flanking. It's pretty nice. I like it. It's been good the couple of games I've played with it.
You have 10 and what?
So I have 10 and 6. So 1 over tactical window. If we were playing tactical window.
And now we will pause for corrections and errata. So yes, tactical window has been defined by Heloise officially now, and it is like we said, it's order generating units. So each net rod will count as 1, but your group of 2 or 3 proxies also counts as 1 because it's taking up 1 slot in a combat group. Mm-hmm. So he defined it, right? G-synced, that's only 1 order in the group, so that's 1 slot out of your thing. Yeah, so it's if it takes up a slot in the combat group, then it's one of your 15.
Isn't it exactly the way limited insertion works? It's just now you have 15.
No,
That's a
because
mess.
limited insertion was easy because that rule is you cannot have more than one combat group.
Oh, there you go.
This one is allowing for
Yeah.
for 15 without saying, your second combat group may only be 5 because that way you can't fiddle around with your 7 and 8
Yeah.
or whatever. But yeah, so it's 15. So that's one. The other thing, so many of you listeners, let us know that pointed out that we were questioning the 6-point increase in the Scarface
Oh, yes. This is my favorite.
between factions. It's because the Druze one has a heavy rocket launcher instead of a Panzerfaust, and that's why he is 6 points more expensive.
So much worth it.
So for all of you that pointed that out to us, thank you very much. And what was the other one? Oh, it was from Willett's episode with all the different names. Many of our British listeners let us know that, and I don't have this in front of me, so I'm going to screw this up.
Yeah, no,
badly
you're
as well.
good.
For the peelers, right? Is it Sir Robert Peel?
Yes.
Father of the modern police force
Mm-hmm.
as we know it today. Yeah. So when he reorganized the London, I'm assuming London police, then they were known as peelers because they're from Robert Peel.
Yeah, that actually came from Will Lewis. Wrote that in.
It came from 5 or 6 different
Oh,
people.
did it? So
yeah.
that's the email that I got, and it also that's why they are called bobbies as well because of Robert. So they called them bobbies, either bobbies or peelers. Which I was always familiar with the bobbies, but for some reason, and I don't know why. Maybe it's because
This makes no sense to me. You told me this last week.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
and I was like, maybe it's because they only carry a club, like a billy club. But then why would they not call them billies?
Yep.
But for before Tom pointed that out, I was like, oh yeah, that's
Observe the window into Kip's mind.
I was like, oh yeah, bob somebody on the head or something. I don't know.
So that was our little break, the errata with the peelers and with the Scarface and with the what was the other thing? I just corrected it.
Oh, with the tactical window.
And tactical window being clarified.
And in defense of Scarface, I've only ever really used him in Jeru's. And that's why I've never really realized that the change had happened. So I was like, oh yeah, that's right. I totally forgot about that because I've only ever used him in Jeru's.
Yeah, that was a huge upgrade at the time.
Yeah.
We talked about it on this very show.
It was. Then it just became the norm. I'll only ever take him in Jeru's.
Yes, we deserve your scorn and your chastisement, and thank you for making us see what we did not see. So now I'll go through my list for Rama Task Force. So I have 2 groups of 7. One is 7 regular orders. The other one's 5 regular, 2 irregular. In group 1, we have a Nahab Killer Hacker. And the Killer Hacker version because, hey, there's things where you need to have a hacker on the other side of the table or near an HVT, or right? So more diversified than just a specialist operative. And you have your choice of airborne infiltration or infiltration. And in countermeasures, there is an exclusion zone. So infiltration would have got me an extra 4 inches.
Yay.
So I chose airborne infiltration, come off of a side. But yeah, solid profile for only 30 points. Submachine gun, emitter, nanopulsar, viral close combat weapon with a close combat of 22, and natural born warrior. 1 wound, no wound incapacitation, right? So
Are they shock immune?
they have assault. No. Kinematical level 2. So just solid all around, like all the different. I can attack your BTS. I can attack your armor. I can attack you with a template. I can attack you with bullets. I can hit you with viral in close combat,
Yeah, that's
probably
brutal.
win.
And it's better than because you can walk in and that 4 inches on your opponent's side without making a roll, like if infiltration you would have. Yeah.
And so then we have a core fire team of 5 members, starting with a Nafatoon heavy flamethrower, then a Nafatoon light flamethrower. And I suppose, since my list is at 299, I could also make that one a heavy flamethrower.
Oh, is it only 1 point more?
But yeah, it's only 1 point more. However, the light flamethrower also has grenades. And the heavy flamethrower does not. So I'm okay with that 1 point floating. Then we have the leader of the team, at least that's the intention, is the Quarige with Spitfire. It's Discount Tariq.
Oh, yeah.
Discount Tariq. He's a ballistic skill 13 super jumping Spitfire with fatality level 2 in a 5-man core team.
Yeah, that's so brutal.
Real good gunfighter. Also in this team is Layla Sharif. She's also a killer hacker. She has a shock marksman rifle, which ain't bad. Goes out to 24.
Yeah.
Less burst, but good range. She's got D charges in case I need those. Because again, this is a mission where you're going to go through the classified deck.
Yeah.
So you need specialists, you need tools. And round it out with a Gulam Dr. Plus.
Which is perfect for the discount Tariq, because why pay the points for the extra wound when you can just bring him up on a 17?
Yep. He is, yep. And then the last member is another Nafatoon with light flamethrower, who is very much like your Gulam with rifle.
Yeah.
What?
Wonder what that
Oh,
is.
he's just a potential 6th member in case one of the core link goes down. Then why is he on the opposite side of the table, hiding under a bush? But yeah, so he's the lieutenant. Then in group 2, then we have a Haris of Mukhtar. And the Mukhtar are so good. These guys range from like 28 to 33, right? And they have mimetism. And they have forward deployment level 1. And they have shock immunity to go with their NWI and their 1 wound.
That makes them so much dangerous.
And one of them's a doctor.
Yeah, there you go.
So the Red Fury Mukhtar has MSV. MSV 2. So that's pretty vital for shooting through your smoke, for example. Or just dealing with ODD or camouflage and ignoring all of that.
That's the anti-Aleph unit.
However, it's also a Red Fury, which means A, it's damage 13, and armor rolls are easily passed, especially when things are in cover. B, it is shock, and so when you're going through the classified deck and you have things that need you to interact with an unconscious model, it's very dangerous to have everything just disappear off the table because then you don't get your unconscious markers. But yeah, so he's 37 points, 1 SWC. The MSV2 Red Fury is the gunfighter of the Harries. Then there is the aforementioned doctor, who when you lose your wound on the Spitfire and he goes into no wounding cap, now the doctor can move over and doctor him back up to his 1 wound because no wounding cap is taking the place of your unconscious. So you can doctor him while they're in NWI. And keep him going. And then the Mukhtar Harry's guy that you have to take to make the fire team. But it's okay because he's got a viral rifle. And a burst 4 viral rifle is really good, forcing double saves against BTS.
Yeah.
Like that. Except when you are 16 and a quarter inches away. Like on Monday night when I played Ben, and he had an Asura hanging out. I'm like, well, the Red Fury against armor 5... Armor 8 in cover, right? At least, and even though it's BTS 6, right? At least he has to roll twice for each hit. So let's shoot him with the viral rifle. 16 and a quarter inches. I got punked.
Yeah, that's no good.
She gets 1 shot back with her Spitfire, and then I retreated around the corner. New plan, more bullets. So there's the Mukhtar Harries. There's also the Rafiq Red Fury. Because if you've got extra SWC and you got a few extra points, why not upgrade your typical forward observer bot that everybody has to also have a Red Fury? So he's there. That's fun. And then there is a Shihab Total Reaction HMG for covering fire. Literally, the only thing I put out for ARO purposes is the Total Reaction HMG and the War Core, right? That's the only thing I'm putting in the path. Because I want all my other stuff to survive till it's my turn so that I can go do the job.
Yeah.
Because this is a mission where you have to do the job. There are no points for killing your enemy in this mission. Well, unless you get Predator, where you literally have to kill your enemy. Then I have a Monstrucker. He is the irregular mercenary engineer with a submachine gun, chain rifle, drop bears. And if nothing else, use that irregular order to chuck a drop bear. If you don't have anything for him to do. And then he's got a Nazmat with him. So you can cover, I can cover the Rafik and the Shihab, no matter where they are on the table. And then the War Core that I already mentioned rounds out that group of 7. So we get together, we play Countermeasures, and freaking Kit, man. First roll of the game, crits the lieutenant roll.
Yeah. Like if you ever want to crit, you definitely want it on that lieutenant roll. Chose to go first though, because I was like, hey, I'm super aggro with the way the list is built. I need to go first. And what did we draw?
Yeah, that we didn't write down and probably should have.
Yeah.
So we didn't think about talking about it until we were all done. But so the way Countermeasures works is you, at the start of the game, you draw 3 classified cards. You only need one person's deck.
Yeah.
And we didn't play extreme mode, so we used the green cards. And you draw 3 cards and put them out, right? And I guess there'd probably be a draw of classifieds where you're like, you may not automatically go first, but I'm probably going first in this mission usually, because once you've got a classified, it goes like you keep it.
It goes away.
And now the other guy can't get it. So there's 3 classifieds out there. If you get one, you take hold of it, and then it's out of the pile, right? But also at the start of your tactical phase, on each of your turns, you may just get rid of one, put in the discard pile. Like, I don't want to do
that.
Yeah.
That one.
I don't want to do that one, so I'm going to put in the discard pile and draw a new one. Okay? So now I have 3 more. So here's the thing. You had to deploy first.
Yes.
And then I deployed everything except the Shihab. And really, again, was going to let you have the run of the table except for that total reaction bot. And the annoying War Core. Right? But because I wanted to stay alive, and let's see what you can do. And we have the 3 cards. You got rid of 1.
I did, but here's the most
The
important.
rescue?
I did get rid of rescue.
Yeah.
Yes, it was rescue, and I was like, for that, because that's one. Anything that's end of game is end of that turn.
End of player turn. Yeah.
Which is why you said, oh, that's how you can get it in the same order. Because if you both have one that ends at the same, like at the game time, and you both get it, like you could both get that point. Like you have somebody in Civivac and I have somebody in Civivac, and that's what we needed to do. We would both get that at the end of the game, which was a very good observation.
And that's when, like, let's say you get you draw the new classified card. Like I have already synced with a civilian, right? It didn't achieve an objective. I just had synced with it, and then it's your turn. And so it's on my turn. The HVT is still there. Your turn. We draw a new classified to fill out the 3, and it is rescue. And then you sync, and now I'm also synced, and we've both rescued. Right?
Yeah,
because there's that weird line in there that if you do it on the same order.
Yeah, it's any of those that are like at the end of game where you both get it on the turn. So at the last, like I could see that happen, which is pretty intense.
If you're forward observing me, trying to get your 2 forward observers on an enemy model, and I have a forward observer and a fire team who gets to forward observe twice back.
No, because you can't forward observe.
No, it's only flash pulse.
Yeah, flash pulse.
Flash pulse twice. Yeah, so that doesn't work either.
No, I think it's just the end of game.
I'm trying to or perhaps is there a Predator? Except you've got to do multiple.
Yeah, so it wouldn't really.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Got way off track there.
Yeah. But
so we got 3 missions.
Yeah, and I got rid of rescue.
Gets rid of 1, so you draw a new one.
And the funny thing, though, is Tom said that his deployment, he's like, oh, I saved my TR bot.
Mm-hmm.
This is where the
What
game,
did you save?
This game got interesting. So I deployed first, and I put McMurrow out, and I'm like, you know what? He's wide out in the open. Who cares? If he puts a TR bot or something out there, I throw smoke on a 19. I need him
Famous
here.
last words.
So I put him out, and, of course, Tom puts a TR bot that can just look him right in the eye. And then I was like, okay, it's my turn. Get rid of rescue and pull something else
I
out.
knew that was the spot where I wanted to put that remote because it could see 2 of my HVTs. Mm-hmm. And it had the widest field of fire and still be in cover. Mm-hmm. So I knew I was, and then you just happened to put McMurrow right in front of where I was putting it anyway. So, well, that works out. So yeah, first order of the game, McMurrow has to run at me. Come at me, bro.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, I was like, I'm going to use his impetuous because if he dies, I can use the irregular order somewhere else.
And he blew into tiny little furry bits.
Oh, yeah. I was like, I need a 19. And I rolled like a 2 or a 3. Like, I couldn't even roll enough to, like, block yours. You hit with all 4 shots, needing 14s. And, yeah, I was like, so long, Mandalore.
So that was a quick... That was a quick start. Not as quick as my start on Monday night, where I removed 2 orders before we even started playing. He had 2 net rods scattered off.
Oh, there you go.
They both scattered off the table.
But yeah, it was really interesting because we had the one where you had to be completely in your opponent's table and be a veteran or an elite and pass a whip roll.
Yep.
It's like, it's not mapping. But it's the other one, like Nano Espionage, not Nano Espionage. One of those 2. I can't remember. I didn't bring my classified deck, but it was that one. So I was like, okay, plan B. Let's go to group 2, my support group. I have the Vaside in there who can shoot, throw smoke, and he's a veteran. He's on the flank. I could get there in 3 orders.
Net undermine.
That's what it was. So that's what I did. Moved, threw shot smoke to cover me getting in your half. Mm-hmm. Did it, made the whip roll, and then moved with his last order and shot smoke in front of the Ruishi, being like, well, I hope this hits.
No, you still had an order.
It was irregular, though, and I didn't want to use a command token on it.
Because he ended up in suppression fire by the end of your turn.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
But no, you did. It was really good use of his smoke grenade launcher to get him up to my half of the table without getting shot by the TR bot, without even like risking engaging it. Mm-hmm. Right. So yeah, and then the smoke placement at the so you get your objective, card goes away, and then you shoot smoke again to cover the advance of everybody else who has to do stuff, so the TR bot can't see them either. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of people, they see that heavy armored HMG with high ballistic skill, and they're like, I'm just going to shoot that all of the time. No. And I don't think you shot one time.
Only in suppression.
No, you shot one time. You killed the war core.
Oh, that's right. Because I did. I took a flash pulse and I had to move and then shoot, which only unconscioused him. But yeah, I put him in suppression because I wanted that. I was like right in the middle of the table, suppression fire HMG on that platform. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then yes, Ruishi in team, Valeria pops the assisted fire, come around smoke, knock out double unconscious the TR bot through smoke, and then I ran up and I got the other 2. One was an HVT one where I had to be within line of fire and scan and pass a whip roll. And then I also had...
worth noting that when you succeed at a classified that involves an HVT, that HVT is removed because you put 3 of them out to start the game.
Yeah.
That's like the unmasking portion.
Yeah, it's super cool. And then we had the telemetry because I had to go and make the one that you have to do 2 forward observing or 2 spotlighting attacks on an HVT. That's one we had. Because then I ran the Hunzakut up and did the forward observer burst 2, passed them both, and got that one. And then the middle HVT went away.
HVT designation.
There you go. Yeah, so we had designation, which I got. Then we got the one where you have to have line of fire and make a whip roll. Unless you have sensor, then you can do the sensor, but I don't. So did that, and then I'm like, all right, I have orders. You never want to leave orders on the table. I see a freaking cool little Nazmat within 4 inches of that TR bot, and I was like, I'm shooting the TR bot again. Get that off the table. Which was helpful. Was super helpful once yours came along.
he's running out of orders at the top of one, and I've got an unconscious Warcore and a double unconscious TR bot, but he's not going to be able to kill anything else, right?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, and I have the Monsterker's Nazmat within 6 inches of the Shihab, and I'm thinking to myself, how funny would it be if the next card that gets pulled is Test Run.
Test run.
And then I will go out and I will take all of those arrows from those suppression people and the fire team, and I don't care. I'll run that brave Nazmat up, and he will repair that. That'll be an easy one. How funny would that be if that's the next card? And then on his very last order, he just takes it off the tee. He ignored it after putting it unconscious for a while, and then very last order is he erases it. The very next card that flips so he's gotten all 3 classifieds. Yeah. There's no more. I have to draw 3, and then you can discard one if you don't like it. The very first one that flips up is Test Run.
And I was like, yes.
But now I can't do it because it was off the table. So now in my turn 1, bottom of 1, I have a Facade with heavy machine gun in suppression fire just outside my deployment zone.
The Hunzakut was in suppression too.
I have a Hunzakut in suppression fire in cover with camo just outside my deployment zone. And then I have a fire team, of which the Ruishi is the main component, but there was also a Zhuyang.
Yeah, HMG.
With HMG. So I've got a Burst 2 Zhuyang HMG. I've got the Ruishi Spitfire. The Bounty Hunters, I don't even know if I could see either one.
See the one with the 80HL.
The point is, I've got all these guys like right up in my grill, and so if I want to do any of these classifieds, I need to make a hole, right? Like Kip's already up with like 3 objectives in one turn, and that's the risk you have when you don't have a lot of guns for them to face down. But if I had a lot of guns for them to face down, I wouldn't have a lot of orders for my first turn. And I'm only down 1 regular order from the Shihab. So I need to remove stuff. And it turns out that a Kwarij Spitfire in a 5-man link with fatality level 2, so it's a damage 15 Spitfire that crits on 1s also. That can be really effective.
Yeah.
So, but here's the thing. During deployment, I see the 3 classifieds. So I set my stuff up to where I can go accomplish those classifieds, right? And so like my Rafik has sensor. Kip put a HVT on my half of the table, like behind this wall, and I see this path where I can get right to the other side of the wall and then use my sensor to get the HVT designation using the sensor instead of having to make 2 forward observer rolls, right? So that'll be an easy 2 orders, like move, set, super easy. But here's what happens in this mission. Once you do the classified, it's yours, and it goes away. So by the time you get to your next turn, what you set up for in the previous turn is no longer there.
Yeah, that's what I love about this. It's like the game changes. So active player turn 1 ends, and then it goes to player B's turn 1, and it's a completely different game.
Absolutely.
Completely different game.
So now what are you trying? It's almost like you have 2 different sets of objectives because now I've got completely different classifieds. But I think all I did in turn 1 was kill you.
Oh, yeah. Tom's like, well, you made it extremely hard for me to get anything, so I'm going to make it extremely hard for you to get anything else. Because remember, we have 2 full turns after this. I think the first thing you did was move up and super jump. You moved out. You killed the Hunzakut.
Right. Yeah.
With 2 1s.
Yeah.
you rolled 2 ones on your Quarige. So I was like,
three other irrelevant numbers.
yeah. I was like, well, I see 2 hawk symbols, so that's a dead Hunzakut because that's double crit. And then like super jumped to
No, that was super jump was later because I had to. It was the girl first, and then the heavy guy.
then the
Alpha Seed.
Facade,
Yeah,
which you crit him too.
I did one time.
Yeah. And I think a failed armor roll. I always fail armor rolls with him.
Yeah, what is he? 4, 5?
He's a 5 in cover though. Like
8. Yeah.
the last game I played, he took 2 hits. I was like, well, I need 7s to pass. I rolled a 5 and a 2. I was like, no, I need 7s, not 7 combined dice. Come on. I literally rolled a 5 and a 2.
But
and
yes,
I thought it was like that, just my dice laughing at me.
But the Quarige is +3 for the fire team, +3 for range.
Yeah.
And then -3 for
Suppression,
and
cover.
-3 for cover. So he's on his base 13.
Not bad.
You're at 0 range, -3 for cover using suppression fire.
So 10s.
Yeah.
So 3 dice on 10s to 5 on 13s.
That also crit on 1s. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't know if it was. I think it was just 2 orders.
It was done in 2 orders.
And then there's the fire team, right? With the Ruishi and the Zuyang. And is the Quarige the thing that killed the Zuyang?
You shot him. Yeah, because you super jumped to hit him, but I think it was after your Mukhtar moved to shoot the Ruishi. Because you took out the Ruishi first.
Yep, the Mukhtar came out, took out the Ruishi, so that made it a 4-man, and then, or might have even broke it at that point, because
Yeah, I was the fire team leader.
because he was
Yep.
right. That's what you get for spending that last order.
Yeah.
Take out the Shihab.
Hey, it was risky, but at this point, it was worth it. At that point.
But yeah, because it was definitely a 4-man team by the time the Quarige is like, I got an order left. I'm gonna super jump, and I like split burst between like bounty hunter, and then something else.
Well, you did
Or
you
it
did
was between 2 things.
you did Zuyang bounty hunter,
Oh.
and then you jumped again and did because you crit the Zuyang down, and then
Yeah.
and then you did Zuyang Ruishi because you're like, hey, remember how you took away my test run?
Yep.
Because smoke the only remote on the table, aside from my Nazmat. So yeah, you wiped out all but even Miranda, because then you came around and punked
That was
Miranda with the Mukhtar.
With the Mukhtar, because they had the visor
Because
to get it done.
I only had one bounty hunter left because I was like, I'm feeling guts and going around the corner. So you actually wiped out 4 of the 5 models on your turn 1.
And he's the one that submachine gun crits the Quarige later.
Yes, later
in the
he's
game.
like, ha!
He's the lone survivor. But yeah, several crits, and took out everything that was all up in my face.
Yeah, I was
except
like,
for Ab Bounty Hunter.
things got way. I was like, oh, this sucks. I thought I had like such a pincer move on you. I was like, man, I'm gonna press. I'm gonna keep him suppressed.
I am likewise a Lobstrosity. I had my pinchers as well. Core team on one side and the Mukhtar Harriers on the other, and so it was a lobster fight.
It was. Pinch,
But I forgot the very
pinch.
first thing I did was bring in the Nahab.
Oh, that's right.
Because one of the classifieds was like, I can't get any classifieds because he's got me like inside my deployment zone. I'm gonna have to dig out. But there's the one where you have to
it's a hacker inside their deployment zone.
hacker in the
That's the mapping.
hacker in the deployment zone mapping, and so I've got a hacker, and I can land just outside the deployment zone,
Right outside.
and then with an order walk in and map.
Yeah.
Perfect. So I look at one side, and again, there's an exclusion zone, so I've only got a 4-inch strip. And I look at one side, and all that's over there really are baggage bots. There's 2 5-point mule bots. There's an 8-point Camille, right? And then there's an engineer nearby. Right? There's really nothing back here except these baggage bots and a camo marker.
That was in
And
my
so
deployment zone.
I'm looking at it, looking at this camo marker in the deployment zone, and the camo marker can see the entire 4-inch strip where you can walk in from the side, and is in range of it. Like if you land there, the mine will go off.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at this
Granted,
camo
it was
marker.
where the facade was.
Well,
Yeah, it was where the facade
I'm looking
was
at this camo marker, and then I look up at Kip and I say, where was your Alpha Seed deployed? Because it's behind this high wall, right? And he points, clearly within 8 inches. I'm like, yep, okay. So not landing on this side.
That's why I like the mind layer ability on the facade.
So I go over to the other side of the table. There's a camo marker, but this one's clearly like in cover, and it's forward deployed, and it's like, it's at that 16-inch maximum infiltrate. So I'm like, all right, this is probably a Hunzakut. And so if I land, I can A, reveal it so I don't have to spend he's going to reveal to ARO me because it's too good to not ARO. And I'm probably, I don't know, 13 inches away from it.
Yeah.
So, and I'm like, so I'll take a rifle shot. But that's okay because I have no wound in cap. Yeah. So I can take that one hit on the land, and then I can get it to reveal. I can shoot it with the Mukhtar if I need to get, so I'm thinking that no problem. I'm going to survive this landing because it's the only thing that can see, and it's definitely like only going to be able to do one wound to me. Well, you just heard Kip's list. I placed the Nahab down, and he's like, all right, where you going? I'm going to reveal Liberto, and it's going to shoot you with a DEP.
Little bot goes, just kidding. I'm not drunk. I'm not a trash pile.
And, of course, he hits. And, of course, the Nahab explodes. So, but there was nowhere blocked on the sides for me to safely walk on. And I thought, sure, nothing can go wrong here. I've got 2 wounds. DEP.
That's why I like that profile as opposed to the other one.
So I did not get mapping. In fact, I think that was the one that on start of your second turn, that's the one you got rid of.
Yeah, because I was like, I had Valeria way back in my deployment zone because I didn't start her. I'm like, there is no chance that I can get over to your side. We had test run, and I can't remember what the third. It doesn't matter what that third one is. But I didn't want to get rid of test run because I had a little plan for test run. So yeah, got rid of that because I was like, there's no way I can do it. And you still had Layla in a fire team. So I was like, that with all the damage you did in that one whole flank, I hardly had anybody over there. I had a doctor and Valeria, but you could have easily got into my deployment zone just by wiping them out and doing it. So yep, get rid of that. And I'm like way down on orders. Like, wow, this sucks. I need to kill that Corrige because I need to get. Oh, it was another HVT one. It was the we did pull the engineer to where the engineer has to get there because I was running my engineer up the corner because I had the orders to get there, but I had to get rid of the Corrige. So that's when I popped out, used 2 orders to run up with the bounty hunter and was like, shock submachine gun, and I finally got a crit and was like, haha, go away, Corrige. But that was after I did my little move where I was like, hey, can you see through this? And you're like, yeah, I can see right through there with the Corrige. And I'm like, please don't roll a 1. I moved my Nazmat across as I moved my engineer up because I was like, I need to go do this HVT retro. And you're like, I'll take 2 shots. And it's
at extreme range, all the way across the table.
And he goes, pop, unconscious. And I'm like, ah, dang. He goes, wait. And then I ran my engineer back and got test run. So that was my plan. I was like, well, I got this Nazmat. If I can just only take 1 wound and not get crit shocked, although they're
structure.
Yeah, they have structure, so it wouldn't even matter. So, but anyways, yeah, I was like, yeah, I'll get that. And then I'll run up there and get this. But I didn't have the orders to get there. So that was pretty much my turn, was just like moving my engineer and got test run and then crit the Corrige. And then I was like, okay, that's my turn too.
So now you've got 4.
Yeah.
And I don't think I have any.
0. Yeah, you had 0 at this point.
But there's not much left. As far... Right? So I've killed McMurrow, I've killed the Ruishi, I've killed the Zhu Yang, I killed the Alpha Seed, right? Hunzakut's dead. Like,
Zuyang sitting there unconscious. My doctor's not in within range. We didn't have experimental drugs, so oh man.
Use the Mukhtar to get rid of the Liberto.
Yeah, you ran them
And
all the way up
So
to my
yeah, he's
HVT
way back
on
towards
that side.
and so they all the way through the middle, and the Liberto's the only thing. And so I tried to be safe at first, but then I was in bad range, right? And I was like, screw it, I need to get up there because you had an HVT over there that I needed.
Yeah, it was an inoculation.
Yep. So we just start running at you, firing that Red Fury, and
I was like,
it only took one more order. You survived the first volley, went down on the second.
because I had suppression.
So the 6'2" Mukhtar just moved.
God, so good.
All
I
the-
always forget they're 6'2",
Yep.
and that's huge when there's not difficult
Moved
terrain.
all the way across the table to get to your HVT that was guarded by the deadly Liberto. And
Had him in suppression fire.
the Dr. Mukhtar, who is my data tracker, sticks her with his syringe.
Mm-hmm.
So I get a card,
What up, DNA?
and I get the bonus for having your data tracker do a classified.
That was the thing. We totally forgot data trackers turn 1. And we were like,
we nominated them at the start of turn 2.
Yeah, which totally sucked for me because all my stuff died turn 1. But
No, that sucks for me because your data tracker would have been dead already.
oh yeah, that's right. That's
Right?
right.
If you had picked what you wanted at the beginning.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we're done. But
yeah, remember that.
accomplish one or more current mission objectives with your data trackers worth 2 objective points. So Mukhtar Doctor, huzzah! Great data tracker. Stuck her with the needle. She did the thing. Now, see, we did have. Oh no, because that's turn 3. So I
Yeah.
can't.
Yeah.
So how many cards do I have at this point?
1. And I had 4 because it came down to turn 3. Because that's all you like. Basically, that's what you did. You set up there, and then you moved your fire team out to like totally cover if I wanted to come out at your last HVT.
No, because I didn't get a turn 3. So this all happens on. No, because you went into retreat.
No, all my baggage. Remember, I had all the baggage on the table. I didn't go into retreat.
Okay.
Yeah. So because the turn 3 was, I was like, I have to do this because my turn 3, I was trying to stop you.
Right. So I got the thing and I killed a bunch more stuff and left you. What'd you have left alive? Baggage bots.
I have the 3 baggage. I have my lieutenant, Ghulam Doctor. I had the engineer, and I had the doctor. And I had moved them around so that everybody was in one group except for my lieutenant. So the lieutenant was sitting by himself. And now what we have to do is get a model. It's the one where you have to be in base to base and pass a whip roll against an enemy specialist. And you have your doctor sitting there. And I'm like, whew. I might have to run at it with my doctor and survive a shot from his Mukhtar shotgun.
However,
Probably won't do that. Looking over at the other side, I'm like, ooh, you have 2 specialists there. My engineer could knock one out. Far better to go up that way. Plus, we had one that needed a hacker to do, and I can't remember if it was data scan or another hacker one.
Poor Valeria.
And I had nominated Valeria as my data tracker because my Rushi and my other guys were all dead at this point. So I was like, oh, man. But here's my favorite part. One of my favorite parts of the game is I'm like, okay, I'm behind one of these walls where there's consoles, and part of the fun terrain rules on this is if you use your sword skill on one of the consoles, you can get rid of the energy wall.
The acrylic gate. Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically like a big door, which
Laser
is fun.
walls.
Yeah, laser wall. So I'm like, okay, I have clear shot at these. I can run Valeria up there and get 2 of these, at least one of these, hopefully 2 of these classifieds because she's my hacker, and my data tracker. So this could be worth a lot of points. So I move up. And I was like, wait, I'm not going to do it with her because I don't want to waste all those orders. So I move my Ghulam lieutenant over. It was like a move to get to the console that's on the wall. And then I use his one lonely order to push the button and move. But as I do it, we have soundtrack going on, Tom's awesome Google Home Play that plays throughout the house. As I move, I hear this. And this is why I'm moving, and I'm not noticing it because I'm thinking how I'm going to accomplish this. But then I hear this little voice, and I go, I'm going to push this button. It's like, break on through to the other side. Break on. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so perfect. How is this happening right now? So the doors were on with that as I was trying to open this door. And it was like the perfect, once I realized how it had played out. I was like, Tom, listen to this.
Opening the gate broke him through to the other side.
So totally cool moment, cinematic moment. Open the door. Valeria comes out, dies. Just like,
well, they
had smoked because it was the
my core fire team had moved. The Courage is not still alive, but the others had moved up and advanced to the middle of the field, and so you're getting burst 2 shots. So poor Valeria gets smoked.
It was because I tried to shoot
and
your Layla shock marksman, so lost that.
And
it's
then
like, nope. Oh.
Then you tried to come around again towards that fire team. This time with your engineer and his little buddy.
Yeah, because we still have that HVT retro. So I'm like, okay, I have to go do this then. And I'm just I was like, oh, it's a rifle. It's not a 112. I have a rifle, and I start shooting things, and nothing. Whatever they put on was not armor 1 that day. Like, I hit your Nafatoon twice. I hit the doctor twice. And
they all lived.
They all lived. I was like, come on, Tom, fill it armor roll. I need more orders because my end goal was if I had 2 orders left with this doctor, I was going to run at your Mukhtar and try to do that.
So
nothing. I didn't get anything that turn. I got pinned behind the wall that I broke on through to the other side, which meant Valeria was going to die.
Yeah, back in that second turn, I did get up to 2 because we did have the doctor one. What's it called?
Experimental drug you did get.
Right. So
yeah, you did get that.
So you had killed the Courage, so the fire team is broken, right? And so we get experimental drug, and now the Ghulam doctor, who is not part of a fire team anymore, is about 2 inches away from the unconscious war core from the beginning of turn 1.
Yeah.
So I just kind of crawled over to it, and I doctored it.
No, you're right, because I remember in turn 3, I was like, I need to get 1 more because I had 4, you had 2, and I was like, I need to get 1 more because if I force you to get 3, I have a better chance of winning. Like if I'm up 5-2, like I need to do this, and I couldn't get 1.
So I had 2, and you couldn't get the one. You just kept throwing bodies at the guns.
Yeah.
Which is the only thing you could do to get more objectives. So now you're at 4. I am at 2. And I want 5.
Yeah, because you need more.
And so here's what's on deck for me. Extreme Prejudice. The Extreme Prejudice with a roll in Extremis Recovery or whatever.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So that's easy. And then what was the third one I had left?
Another one where you had to get all the way in. You had to get to my deployment zone to do something.
Yes, I had to get in base contact on your side of the table with a null trooper with one of my veterans or elites, which my dudes are. A lot of them, not the Ghulam.
Well, you said Layla, so that's veteran.
Yeah, character. Yeah. And so I've got the fire team is like a 3-man, right? And each order I spend, because I don't have very many orders, but each order I spend, they kind of like spread out so that 8 inches is like getting further and further apart because I'm throwing 2.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Getting 2 models towards 2 me with the crits this game. So there were 12 in total.
Yeah, you gotta be 12 times.
But you had your little disconnected remote, right? Because the engineer died. And it's right in front of me. So like the first one is I want to go and make that null because then it's right here. I can just walk up to it and we'll all be good. But I crit it. So I'm firing 3 bullets at it on 14s because it's in good range, and mimetism don't work when you're in a null state or when you're disconnected. Automatic skills don't work when you're disconnected. So the disconnected guy, his mimetism's off, so I need 14s. I guess I was shooting with the Ghulam doctor.
Yeah, but it was funny because you rolled, and I was like, wait, do I get mimetism? Because either way, you either need an 11 or a 14.
And I rolled an 11 and two 14s. Yeah. And then you failed the armor roll for the 11. So instead of having an unconscious model, I thought, oh, a little rifle? No problem.
You hit it right in its explosion button.
Yep, it blew up. So now I didn't have the thing for capture. So, so the Mukhtar, they get into base. Like Zhuyang was like right there.
Yeah, it was like 2 orders it took you to get that
2
one.
inches. Like they walked in. They walked into the
6.
Zhuyang and
boop,
coup de grace him, and then who was the other dead guy?
It was my bounty hunter. Because my bounty hunter was right there. The Zhuyang was right there.
So we walked up to him and we in extremis recoveried him. So now I've got 4.
So we're tied.
And I want that. And had I killed that little, had I not killed that little Nazmat, it would be 2 more orders, which I had to get over there and capture it right with a veteran troop. So instead, there's a dead Camille baggage bot in the back.
From when I broke on through to the other side.
And
that wall down.
The gate's open now. I don't have to go around it. So fire Layla like a missile. And I know it's not going to work. I just wanted to see how close it would get. Fire Layla like a missile to get into base contact with that unconscious Camille, the only other thing on the table, right? And move. I think I had 3 orders. It was like move, 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 move. And I was 4 inches away from it.
Yeah, it's like,
because it was all the way on your baseline.
It was all the way back. Yeah, I everything back behind that wall. Because I'm like, if you're coming back here, have the mine covering one side and then the rifles on the other. But
so I didn't mean to shoot the Nazmat so hard, or it would have been easier. And then I was 1 order short of getting the capture. So, neither one of us got the 4 points for accomplishing more mission objectives. We each got the 2 points for having the same number. And after your first turn, I thought, I'm not going to get any class, like you're running away with it. You're going to get all the classifieds, and all I'm doing is reacting and punching back. But I punched you so hard that
lots of.
I broke on through to the other side.
Yeah.
And then we each had 4 mission. We each had 4 mission objectives, which it's a maximum of 4.
Yeah.
Right. And so
put us at
we're
6.
We're each at 6, but I did one with my data tracker, and you did not because she.
So it's important to remember that that's a thing.
And so I won 8-6, and I was 4 inches away from winning 10-4.
It would have. Oh yeah, because you would have got that.
More,
yeah, so it would have been 10-4.
Taken 2 away from you. Yep.
Yeah, it was interesting. Like, the data tracker at the beginning, I think it's huge. Especially if you can get if it's somebody that you can get an objective right away. Because you're like, I just scored 3 points. So depending on whether you go first or second, whatever the flop are, kind of like is going to affect the choice of your data tracker. Because knowing that if you can get somewhere, or it's in your plan,
you keep churning through those cards. We had so there's 20 cards in the classified.
That's what I'm saying. If you go first,
I'm not. Okay, I thought you had made your point. I was making a new point.
Go ahead, make
I'm
a
not
point.
arguing with you. Not arguing with you. I was saying that you churn through those cards. We had 5 left out of the deck of 20.
Oh, wow.
The maximum you can go through is 24.
Okay.
Because you can get rid of 1 at the start of each turn, so there's 3. And you can accomplish 3 on your turn is 3, 6, 9, right? So that's 12 per player. And there's a provision for reshuffling the deck if you run out. But we got close, but not quite.
I didn't know we were that close.
We had 5 cards remaining
left.
in the deck.
Wow.
So we went through 15 classifieds, either getting rid of cards or the new draws at the beginning. But yeah, so going first is perfect because you know what the objectives are, unless you plan on canceling one, start your tactical. So you can set up to get those objectives and have a plan. If you're going second, you're going to have completely different objectives on your when it comes around time for you to do. Unless you play a strong defense game like a Varuna or Neoterra gun line up on a building somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
just, arrowing the crap out of people. Maybe they don't get the opportunity to do them, so you still have them there. But, man, yeah, if they get one, you can't get it.
Yeah, but the swing is so cool too. Like
It is.
the swing is cool because like I did all those and started, and then you had yours, and I'm like, if I didn't take my last order to shoot that, which I heard your voice ring though, that Kip, don't ever leave orders on the table. Don't just always find something to do. I was like, wow, kill that. Like you would have got one. And it's like, because as soon as you did yours, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm really not defending any of the things he has to do. Like all I'm doing is just making it annoying to get there.
Right.
So my strategy was like, I went and did my things, but then you get 3 things that you could do that your opponent could have actually made easier for you. Like test run and experimental drug. What if you drop both of those? Oh, sweet. I'm right here. Took me 2 orders. Thank you. And all of a sudden the tables have now evened.
Or you're all right there, right, like just outside my deployment zone, basically. What if Predator came up?
And you have like Eclipse Smoke or Smoke.
Now the Nahab is gonna infiltrate from my side of the table, walk right over to you and stab you with viral.
Yeah, there you go.
And I mean, because the Hunzakut and the Alpha C were so close to each other.
Oh yeah, no, you would have smoked that if you would have had that. I mean, Grand Mine or whatever, but it's like it changes
you never
the
know.
game. Yeah,
you never know what's going to come out of the deck next, and then you may see a juicy one on your opponent's turn and be thinking about it, and then all of a sudden they get it, and you're like, oh well, So it's hard to plan. It really keeps you on your toes. You've got to plan your stuff as it comes along, really. Because like we talked about, like when it's your end of your opponent's turn, you're starting to think about what your moves are going to be on your turn, right? You can't do that.
No, that's what I like about it. It's completely random, and I do like the fact that it's the first mission that you can actually build a quote unquote all comers list with. Because you have to plan for everything, which is fun because that's something that you don't really get to do a lot in Infinity. And the only time I really do that is when I'm starting a new faction. Well, I'll build this I could do every mission somewhat. It's not tailored to a mission. And every other mission we have is like, people are like, well, is this list good? And it's like, well, it depends on the mission. Like somebody could go, well, hey, I built this list to kind of round everything out. And you're like, that's amazing for countermeasures. Like it's a good countermeasures list.
Did you have medium or heavy infantry?
Zuyang. Oh, heavy, yes. Zuyang was my only heavy.
Did you have veterans, elites, or chain of command?
Yes.
And Valeria, at the very least.
Well, a lot of characters.
Did you have anything with biovisor, MSV, or sensor?
Yes. Well, MSV, yes.
Mm-hmm. Did you have chain of command, veteran, or elite? Yep.
Well, veteran, yeah.
Check. Did you have a doctor or paramedic?
Yep.
Anybody with D charges?
Yep.
Hacker?
Yes.
Do you have an engineer?
Yes. And a G-Sync bot to do the ones that you could do that with.
Do you have a forward observer?
Yes.
Okay. So I think did you have anything that could do close combat good?
Yeah. I had McMurrow and Valeria. I mean, not Valeria.
Whoa.
McMurrow and Miranda.
Miranda, yeah. Like, what?
Yeah, Miranda and McMurrow, and as a backup, Miranda. She's 19. So with mono, which isn't bad. But yeah, McMurrow definitely, and he's also a veteran. Yeah. So veterans.
Those are the things you need to bring in your list, no matter what the card flip may be. Real interesting too is that you start running out of HVTs.
Yeah, that was way more of a factor than I thought it was going to be, because you can get more of those cards than you actually get HVTs to do that upon.
There's 6 HVT cards.
Mm-hmm.
You have 3 HVTs. Can you imagine if your first turn you do 3 objectives like you did, but they all used an HVT, and then the next 3 cards that you get on your next turn are the other 3 HVT ones.
That can suck real bad.
You can only jettison one.
Mm-hmm.
I only get some killing for the rest of this turn.
You know what's cool too is the fact of there was one that I had pulled so that it would make it harder for you on one of the turns, and I can't remember what it was off the top of my head, because like you said, we went through almost the entire deck. But you could, on your tactical phase of your next turn, you can literally be, am I going to pull one that's hard for me to get? Or do I pull one that's easy for my opponent to get, hoping that I'll get one that's easier for me to get? So it kind of gives you that decision as well.
Right. Or like, you're playing, you don't have any remotes. Test run is there. Your enemy has an unconscious remote, and at the start, like no matter what happens this turn, I can't let him just have this for free at the start of his next turn. So I'm going to get rid of test run.
Yeah, get rid of the ones that are easy for your opponent. So that's it's a really cool. It's very different. I would like more missions kind of garnered around this free flowing stylish strategy, because that is Infinity. Like we always say, you're gonna have to use your plan C or D, because dice,
how it keeps changing and whatnot.
And when you have like the structured stuff's really fun. And I don't think that this is an issue in because I know that a lot of times highly classified is not liked in ITS because it's too random. So sometimes tournaments will be like, well, we get them all, but it's like, that's the thing. It's classifieds are random every game. If you have 2 classifieds, sometimes you draw stuff that you can't do. But so, I mean, there's always some kind of that randomness to it. But this right here, I think that it's not, the randomness actually increases the fun, increases the strategy, which makes it even a lot more enjoyable if you're into the strategy and competitive side. But the randomness actually helps the competitive nature, because it's like, well, everybody has to take something that can do everything so that it grounds even.
Yeah.
You've all built an all-comers list, so how well can you adapt to the changes, which is really fun. Like I would like more missions like this. It's my favorite one. Not just because it's new, it's just fun. You play 5 different games and it goes different every time.
And so, the randomness, like what if the first player gets 3 really, in air quotes, really easy ones, and then the second player draws 3 really hard ones that are almost impossible to get. And it's funny because that definition changes from player to player, from list to list, from terrain to terrain, of what is hard to get and what is easy. If there's an infinitely tall wall, where I can't get shot at all, then it makes sabotage really easy for me just to get all the way. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Well, you kind of did that, because I grabbed everything and had you you didn't even get an objective your first turn, but there's 3 turns.
Yep.
And
but it's so that I don't know about the random. The randomness affects both players equally, and what one player thinks of as an easy one that's easy to get, the other player may really struggle with. Oh, telemetry is super easy. I just need to, forward observe any enemy. Oh, my forward observer just got shot in ARO as he tried to forward observe an enemy. Well, I guess it wasn't so easy.
Yeah.
Or whatever, right? Like, it's equally random for both players. What I think is intriguing is that the way it keeps changing, you have to be agile and quick-witted and keep changing your plan and adjusting your strategies and, coming up with new solutions, because you get a new set of problems every time. And if you might solve a problem on your opponent's turn in your mind, but then he gets that card and now you've got something completely new that you have to come up with a plan for, and it keeps evolving and changing. And you got to be really agile and in your mind to figure out what you're doing. The mission's a blast.
Yeah,
I love it.
But that encompasses.
I never understood when people said that highly classified wasn't fair either. It's like, you 4 random cards. Come prepared and deal with it.
Yeah, I mean, I like the mission. I actually do, because I do like this. And what to kind of encompass on what you said is, I think this mission is the essence of Infinity. What drew me to it anyway is the fact of you're always engaged. You always have to be paying attention. You're always involved. And with this, it just kind of takes that and puts it on steroids, because you're always involved in encompassing, because you're like, oh crap, well I have to do this and I have to do this, and it keeps you kind of engaged in so into the game, which is you're never off, and it's the problem solving is fun to me. That's why we play it.
I love that.
Super cool.
That this set of cards has been out for over a year and I still don't know any of the names.
I know, right?
And now I've even forgotten the
Hey,
name.
that's the other benefit. That's the other positive. Now we'll learn what all the dang classifieds are because you're going to go through the deck.
Now I've even forgotten the names of some of the old ones.
Oh, man.
Like experimental drug I couldn't think of 10 minutes ago. But, whatever. Yeah, great mission. New favorite. Like it a lot. It was a ton of fun. And you should play it if you have not. It's very, very good.
This conversation can serve no purpose anymore. Goodbye.
That is going to do it for episode 245. You know what, Kip? That is like a quarter of 980.
We're almost there, man. Almost at 250. That's insane. It's awesome. Thank you guys for helping us get to this point.
And so Countermeasures, really fun. Try it out. MayaCast Masterclass Quarter 3, freehand. Try it out. And congratulations to our Patreon winners, Joshua Hatch, Brandon Hall, and Yuri. If you hear your name, email us at tom@mayacast.com.
And kip@mygas.com.
And we will get those prizes. Jumping, speaking of prizes, remember, end of the month, Masterclass, freehand. Let's see some cool stuff, people. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time, get out there and support your local game store.
To find out how you can support the show, go to patreon.com/MayaCast.
You can find us online at www.mayacast.com.
We are on Facebook at facebook.com/InfinityMayaCast.
Follow at Maya Podcast on Twitter.
Join the MayaCast forum group on Facebook.
And as always, you can email us at tom@mayacast.com.
And kip@mycast.com.
You know the day destroys the night, night divides the day. Try to run, try to hide, break on through to the other side, break on through to the other side, break on through to the other side, yeah.